All right, so we're going to be taking in our info that is going to, avail whatever information when we update, and then it sends it to the URL or the API URL. So I'm going to create a constant and we'll include it in Axios. So constant, okay, it can be feeds info, which is equal to then whatever is supposed to be into feeds info. Now I think I need to remove that comma there. It's bringing issues. Okay, so inside that constant we shall take in what comes from this dot new feeds, this dot new feeds dot, okay, the first one is I think weight dot new feeds weight, sorry, dot new feeds weight, and then comma, another should be this. Okay, so it's supposed to be now feeds, maybe feeds, yes, new feeds, what can I call it, x feeds. Okay, let me just call it x feeds. Okay, so the other is going to be x feeds amount. Okay, and it will be this dot new feeds dot new feeds amount, new feeds amount. Great, so which means we can use this constant in Axios. For example, if I do a console.log new feeds info, we can see, okay, I'll put it onto feeds, console.log new feeds info. Let's see what we get. If I do, okay, if I do the usual. All right, so it has, it is giving us an error. Let me see, that error is coming from the request, I think. But the constant, I do not have any request yet, maybe. So let me choose to update and we see. So you can see we have the new feeds array and then whatever is defined. So it is saying undefined. So we've taken in one amount, I think. Okay, let me see. We've taken in only new feeds amount. We've not taken in, so one is undefined. So new feeds, new feed weight. Okay, it's supposed to be new feed weight. Okay, I think that was causing, I'll need to check where this error is coming from, but if we do update like that and then update, okay, so you can see x feeds and x feeds amount is 3 and 2. So which means we're ready to go and send this to Axios because the data is already here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to take our Axios here and I do an Axios.post and I'll add the data there. So I'll just take this with its error catching and then I use it down here. Okay, so I'm going to do, okay, Axios.post, Axios.post, and then I'll take in now the feeds info here, feeds info, feeds info, okay, so feeds info will go in there, and then I need to change this shouldn't be, so this can be update feeds, okay, update layer feeds. Okay, update layer feeds. Okay, so I have an issue. Even if I send, it cannot work because, okay, I need to, okay, let me first, okay, it's going to bring an error and I think we can see that via network. Okay, so update, oh, it's also having issues with get layers, I think, because I've not logged out. So that's the warning it was giving me. So I need to log in because it was having such issues, and we need to write a function to do the error checks the user so that it logs out automatically if the user is the session has expired. So I'll write an if session, something of the sort. All right, so I'll go to feeds, and then if I choose to do anything with the feeds, I'm going to receive an error here. So update feeds. So update feeds does not exist. I need to go and check and work on update feeds. If I click, okay, so there is no payload actually. The update feeds layer does not exist. So which means I need to go to our okay, how many links do I have here? I think I should have one because I've already worked on the others. Okay. All right, no problem. I'll come back to our layers. Okay, so I need to create one in the web route. I'm not using the API route but I'll use it in the mobile version. So watch out for those tutorials. So I need to come and create one here, and I can make it a post. Okay, so I'll do post, and then it is update layers, update layer feeds. So it will go onto the same controller and look for update layer feeds. Okay. So I think I must also take in the ID, but since we're not using the API, I'm not subjecting the ID from the other side. I'm subjecting the ID of the person who is already logged in, and I'm taking use of the Laravel auth. So which means I need to come to the layers controller. So layers controller. Okay, then I write another, so which is going to be a public function, which is update layer feeds. Layer feeds. Okay, and then it is taking in a request and a request variable. So request variable. Okay, so we're going to double check if we actually receiving that. So I'll do a die dump, and I'll do maybe $request, and this $request is going to take in an input, and which input will be one of the following. So let me double check what we have in the, okay, the input is going to be x feeds, and the x feeds, so it will be x feeds weight. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so let's check. Okay, so let me choose to update. Great. Okay, we have an error. I think we need to double check. Update layer feeds. Okay, it's update layer feeds. Let me double check if that's the case. Update layer feeds, and also in the web route, update layer feeds. Update layer feeds. Okay, so I need to see. Okay, it's saying null here, that it has a null value, so I need to double check. Okay, update layer feeds with the request input. Okay, let me first write this variable here so that I do x feeds weight. Okay, I need to double check the layers here. So is it x feeds? Okay, yeah, it's x feeds, not x feeds weight. Sorry for that. So which means I can add weight on it here so that it matches up with what I have in mind. Okay, so I'll take in that and take in this. This will be 3, and then choose to update. Okay, if I click, okay, you can see it has the value. So the value is there. It has taken in 2 from the x feeds weight. So which means we're good to go on the side of the layer compare. All right, so we're going to update in layers. So update feeds will equal to layers, okay, where Okay, I think I need to first find the ID, okay? Okay, let me do it. Where FK user is auth ID, just like this. Where FK user is auth ID. So we go ahead and include another where. So where the user, okay, we need to update by the way. So where the user FK ID is that, okay? All, in fact, find, okay, we're not updating on the table. Is that, and then we choose to update, okay? Update content in that table, in this array, right? So I need to do that. Come on. Where is my update? Update. Okay, I need to do this. Update content in that table, in this array. Okay, then I need to terminate. Terminate. Okay, so the content in this table. Okay, so we need to go to the feeds. I need to check affiliate farmer. Okay, I go to layers, then I choose what I need to update for that season. So this, we are updating the feeds, okay? And then we're also updating the expenses. I think we need to add the amount, but that amount will go to expenses maybe. No, does it need to? We are updating the feeds. I'll update the expenses, but I think I realize I need to put the cost of the feeds and also include the expenses. But our expenses are not, you know, they do not have value as such. So which means, but I need to capture the feeds alone and also the expenses alone and add that. So I'll need to modify that. However, for this video, I'm going to update that, then I'll modify it later. So which means we need to have the feeds, okay? And the feeds will be coming from dollar request, the variable request, and then looking into the input, and then taking in x feeds weight. Okay, then put a comma there. Then the expenses, which will look into the requests, okay, and the input will be x feeds amount, x feeds amount. Okay, so I do think this is supposed to be like that, and this like that. So it needs to be a string. Then after doing that, we need to return, okay? We need to return a response, and that response will be that. So we need to return a response, and the response is going to be update feeds, okay? So just to show us that we've actually done that. All right, so I also expect this to update from 0. So let me do send an update. Okay, and I see, well, I think everything is done well. Preview. Okay, I still have die dump. Do I have it anywhere? Well, it's still retaining the recent one. So let me first check here, by the way, if it has really updated our feeds. Actually, it has updated the feeds and expenses. I need to check, so which means if I go to broilers and come back to layers, okay, you can see the updates are done. So if I go ahead and update the feeds again to 30 kilograms, If I update the feeds to 30 kilograms and the cost of each kilogram can be 1,000 shillings, or the overall cost. Let me keep it as cost per kilogram, and I choose to update. Okay, the magic has been done. All right, and the user still has been updated. So if I come back to broilers and come back to layers, so 30 kilograms, but we need to add on whatever is already existing, okay, and do the calculations.